Wide range of insurance products guaranteed to get you and your loved ones back on track when life hits a short left.
And before we get into the show, as usual, let's look at our newest segment, which is Around the World, a broadcast on understanding exactly what those details are about. There's nothing that really frustrates that sometimes everyone is talking about a thing, but you have no idea what they're talking about. So this is why now we take time to really explain to you, especially for you who are building your careers and also businesses. These pieces of information are very important for you. But before we go around the world, let's look at the news that are making headlines right here in the Republic of Botswana. Of course, this is not a big business news, but something that we really need to talk about. And here, let's start with this news that speaks to us about, I know it's been a great 12 months, a great journey, but the journey for Palesa Molefe is finally coming to an end. And the amazing thing here is, I think for the very first time in our country, I don't know if it's the first time, maybe it's the first time in a very long time, now we have somebody that we feel, you mean already you are going, but of course, Palesa Molefe's journey with Miss Botswana 2021-2022 is coming to an end this week, or has already happened. I think today they're also announcing the top 10 of the Miss Botswana 2022-2023. It's exciting because I had with my colleagues, I had a chance to interact with the contestants of the Miss Botswana over the week, this last week here. And what was happening was that they had a training in which they were building their projects, the Beauty with a Purpose project. And for those of you who always make all these comments about, Miss Botswana, this, that, and that, you have no idea what goes into this pageant. You see, when we were there, like all of them, they were explaining to us the project that they're doing and what it means for them as Miss Botswana Queens. You really have a lot of respect you need to put in anyone who makes it into the top 10 or even finally becomes Miss Botswana. I mean, the project that comes into it to say, hey, go and be Miss World. But here's the thing. Usually, apparently, it's not about, it's not about wearing the crown, but what you do with the crown once you wear it. And this is why, as you've seen over the past few months, the beautiful work that Palesa Molefe has been doing with the crown that she was wearing. I think for the first thing, you have to instill the confidence in you to know that you as a person, just as you are enough. For the women that have followed her story, have seen her, how she conducts herself. For some of us who had the privilege, to be very close to what she's been doing, and her as a person as well, to learn from her, the things that she's done. I mean, kudos for that. Look, remember how you felt when you knew she was going to go into the contestant job in the Miss World pageant. And now all the best to all these amazing queens that are currently battling it out to become the next. Trust me, these beautiful girls, all of them individually, the passion that they have and the resolution that they actually have to make a difference with this crown, you are not going to be disappointed by our next Miss Botswana. Any of them, it doesn't matter which one, any of them, if they were to be Miss Botswana, I feel like we are in good hands. But anyway, let's move on to the news that are making headlines around the world. And let's talk about this story that broke out yesterday in New York. And this story, when it was breaking out, a lot of people were been looking at it and like, how is this even possible? And this is a man who's called Adnan Syed. In the year 2002, this young girl who was once Syed's girlfriend got murdered. And then after all the prosecution, spent almost, 20 years now in prison. And what was happening was that, so some people made this podcast and then they went on to reread the case files, sentence that he was given, and the of murder. Having he a crime that he probably hasn't done ever in his life. It made me think about it, like how many people today are in jail, even here in Botswana, for the things that they have never done. You see, there are people that will say, for example, I got convicted because somebody lied and said I raped this person of our yard. This is around 6 a.m. or so. And then what happened was that this guy, he was coming from an all-night prayer. He was wearing a yellow sweater. So he was passing by our yard. But by the time he was passing, some criminal was stealing some things in the next door neighborhood, wearing the same exact sweater. And then when he ran off, the people went on looking for where the guy went. When they found this guy at church, and people don't consider some of these submissions, and they lock people up. And this is for the Law Society of Botswana. This is for every one of you who's passionate about cases like this. Go out there and defend the people that didn't have enough resources to defend themselves. And today, their life has taken a different turn. They're probably going to die in jail because there's nobody. Our last story that is also happening in America, and richest person in the world. There's a guy that you're probably wondering, who is this? Yeah, that man over there, his name is Adonai. You know, his name is Gautam Adonai. This guy, or Adani, imagine if you are a richest person in India, definitely your riches should be able to affect some people around the world. In his riches that he's made, you know, doing port developments and so on and so forth. Though, like, to be honest, I try to read the business profile of this guy. I don't really get what they are doing. It's just like port development, administration, this and that. I don't know. Jeff Bezos, he runs Facebook. People, everyone in the richest list, you know what they're doing. And then there is this guy, I don't know what that means, but the truth is, this today is the second most richest person in the world. And this is amazing because for the first time, people are now looking into it. I wrote a book about this, and most of you now, you see what I'm talking about when I told you the world has many rich people you don't know about.
Let's find new ways to make dreams possible. Whether you are dreaming about starting a new business, securing a good future for your family, buying a new home, or owning a new car, your dream becomes real the moment you believe it can be. Go ka kgonega with Stanbic Bank Botswana. Your dreams matter.
And let's get into the show tonight. As I promised you today, it's going to be a very special day for you because you and I were going to talk. And at the end of this session and today, at the end of today's show, I hope for one thing that your heart will be liberated from all questions that sometimes the answer to these questions you are not ready for. Or in fact, you don't even want to hear these questions. But the truth is, your life has taken a different turn. It's not even a different turn. It's taken a turn that you are not really prepared and ready to be here. You don't know anything what you should be saying. Because here's the thing, in your heart and your heart of hearts, you know you are doing the best that you can to be the person you want to be. But suddenly life is what it is. And now the fuse that has been holding your drive as a person, the lazy, I'm talking about people that for real, this is a serious matter. If care is not taken, even the end of this year, you have made a decision that you are going to do all the craziest things you can ever imagine. In fact, I'm talking to keep holding on whatever you're holding on anymore, because as far as you are concerned, life has come to what it is, and you don't feel like there's nothing that you can do about it. And I want to start today's is it a presentation, a chat, a talk, a podcast? I ask you to ask yourself definite questions and answers that we're going to be discussing today. Feel free, send the question to that number if you want your question of rejection.